So it's usually at home, it's like a wood, right? Tighten loose stair railings. Oh, why do we need to tighten loose stair railings? In case you fall, right? So that's the railings is the one that we hold on when we're going up and down stairs. Right now, you know, like sometimes we don't really use it, but if you have little ones, they hold on to that, right? If they slip, what do? They hold on to that. And also with elderly, I know my parents, like, they hold on to that too. Adjusting locks that are not functioning properly. Yeah, we need to do that, right? Because you want to make sure that your property is secure, right? That no one's gonna come in. We talked about that. Clean off stove and kitchen counters. Oh, why would that be important? Bugs, yeah, bugs. We don't want the little critters going around, can cause issues. Mice, yeah. Yeah. Check smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors. Well, that was a really obvious one, right? Check smoke alarms. I don't know if I do that daily though. But, yeah, every change of, yeah, there's a change of a season, right? Yeah.
That's funny because, like, since I moved into my place 3 years ago, my mom has never come to check the smoke alarms once.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah, make sure. They said to change the battery every so often, every 6 months, right? And to just check that, you just press the test button. Usually there's a test button, it's loud. But even though it's working right now, and if it hasn't been changed for the past 6 months, get it replaced. Because you never know, by the time there's a fire when you need it, it's not working, right? So performing these maintenance tasks on a regular basis can lower your insurance premiums in 2 ways. So it's a good thing. Doing this can lower our insurance premium. Well, how does it lower the insurance premium? First, daily maintenance can reduce your premium because if you are familiar with your property, you can predict and correct issues before they become problems that involve insurance company.
Sorry again for the interruption. At this time, anybody who is on a spare or who has just arrived, who has not yet had a hot dog lunch, staff or student or guest, please come to the student lounge at this time. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are lowering the insurance premium because we want to make sure that we deal with the problems as soon as possible before it become a major issue, right? Dripping. I'll have a story. I have some stories later. I'm gonna write it down. Somebody remind me stories. So this is a good thing because it can reduce the amount of coverage that you will require, and less coverage means lower cost. Second, this is the second one. Insurance companies assess you when you're buying a property. Are you at risk? If you can prove that you are not only not at risk, but they are rarely, if ever, make claims, you are likely to have a lower premium. So if we can say that, you know, things happen like this all the time, you make claims all the time. We talked about that when we talked about insurance. The more claims, the higher your premium. So, preventative maintenance. So earlier was almost daily maintenance, right? Make sure your faucets are working, not dripping. These are preventative. In addition to daily maintenance, there are other tasks that we can do infrequently so that we can avoid major costs later. Cleaning debris and garbage. Oh, okay. Well, why is that? Clear the debris and garbage around your house or in your house. Why would that be? We talked about critters, right? We don't want that. Checking siding for damage. Okay, if your siding is damaged, there might be water going in. It's not insulating your house properly. The next one, repairing small driveway and sidewalk cracks. Okay, that's more like an aesthetic issue. That's more like an aesthetic issue. Sunken driveway and sidewalk. Have you heard of mud rockers? No? If they're sunken part of your house, they can level it up. Mud rockers? Okay, I don't work there, so I'm not getting paid for saying that. So checking fence and gates, that's another thing. Trimming trees. Trimming trees. Why is that?
So it doesn't grow to power lines?
Yeah, that's right. And if it goes to the power lines, what happens? It could be a fire hazard, right? Yeah. Improve grading of water drainage away from your house. Oh, what does that mean? Somebody know what that means? Improving the grading of water drainage away from your house?
So that your house doesn't flood or cause more water damage?
Yeah. What does it mean by grading? Yeah, you're right. Because we want to make sure the drainage away from the water. So when this is your house, make sure that if there's a sidewalk in here, it's not slanted like that, because if there's a rain, guess where it's going? It's going in. So it should be grading away from your house. So it should be there. So it's slanted away. So if there's a rain, it doesn't go inside the house, it goes your neighbor's house. No, just joking. Okay, inspecting the roof. Inspecting the roof, that would be the, you don't want any holes, because if there's a hole, water can damage your roof inside, and then anything that drips inside the house, it's not good for you. Ensuring that the chimney and vents are clear. Okay, chimney and vents. Oh, that one would be a fire hazard, right? If the vents are clogged, the chimney is clogged, could be a fire hazard. Fix
Carbon monoxide
poisoning.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, carbon monoxide poisoning. It's called a silent killer because you can't smell it, you can't taste it, you don't know that it's there, but absolutely. Very good.
Sorry for the interruption. This will be the last one. At this time, if anybody is wanting to have a second hot dog or smoky, please come to the lounge. Thank you.
So fixing caulking and weather stripping for windows and doors. What's a weather stripping?
The damage in your roof or your house in general due to weather?
This is for the doors, like the weather. Yeah.
And to like start stripping the draft from coming in at the bottom.
Yeah, that's right. So it's usually at the bottom, right? So that the draft doesn't go in. So it goes at the bottom, along the side, right? And then caulking, that's the caulking for the windows and doors for sure. Check basement walls for cracks and condensation. Okay. What does a condensation mean? Sounds, yeah. So, like, it's a humidity, yeah? Yes. You probably see this sometimes in a house, or sometimes I had that too. Yeah, your windows are starting to, looks like it's sweating, right? So that means it's a condensation. There's a difference of the temperature outside and inside. And when there's a condensation, there's water buildup somewhere there. It starts to grow mold around the window, which again, that's a fire. That's a health hazard. Okay, so these are things that we can take a look at. So when you do own your house, it is a good practice to have a maintenance binder, and keep records of the different maintenance procedures you do or have done to your house. Oh my. Maintenance binder. I don't even do that to my own house. Yeah. That's just like, this is like more like meant for me. I'm getting out of this lesson here. So having a maintenance binder, so it's like a checklist, like what have I done, or when did I check my roof? When did I check all these stuff? Okay. Emergency repairs. Uh-oh. When something goes in an emergency, what happens? It needs immediate attention. That means like it's really, really needs to be dealt with, right? So these are the emergency repairs. So the first one, furnace or heater is not working, especially in winter, right? You want to make sure that your furnace and heater is working, because you don't want the frozen pipe, and you want to be comfortable in your own house too. Replacing a leaking hot water tank. Oh, okay. Here, this is the connection to my story. So, this is a true story, and I like stories because it's real and we can learn from it. So, a family that I know, they saw that there's a little drip of water from their hot water tank. So they were like, oh, it's a small drip. It's not ruining the whole basement. It's just not a big deal, right? They didn't attend to it. And then she turned on the hot water. No hot water. So it's like, yeah, whatever, no hot water. Maybe something is just wrong with the hot water tank, whatever. It will get fixed. I don't have to do that right now because she was off going to work. And then she went to work. When she got back, the basement was flooded. The basement was flooded because the hot water tank is completely broken. The lining inside broke. It's cracked. It's old, right? So it broke. And how much water is in the water tank? You know, like hot water tank, if you've gone to the basement lately, it's probably about your height or almost your height, right? Really big. Can you imagine all of that water going down? And it's a lot. So yeah, when she got home from work, all that water is in the basement. So they had to call an insurance to make a claim because they didn't attend to the little drips there, right? And they didn't attend to it right away, and they think it's just nothing. And then when they got home, it's really an emergency, right? It should have been dealt with. Here. Fixing broken doors and windows. Yeah, that one is an emergency repair. If somebody were to break my door or my window, that needs fixing. Not just because the cold, okay, of course the cold, we don't want that as well, but we want to also be keeping our stuff safe and your family safe. Repairing a leaky roof. We don't want water damages. We don't want that one. Bursting water pipes. Anybody heard of a frozen pipe? A few years ago, it's a frozen pipe when it was like super, super cold that some houses have a frozen pipe. Well, what happens is it could burst. And what happens is all those water can just go to your house. And water is just such a good thing, but it also is a powerful, and it could be damaging to the house. And then repairing flood damage. So that's another thing, another flood damage. If there's a flood damage, needs to be repaired because you don't want mold to grow, okay, because it's gonna make us sick. So I gave you one story there, preparing a hot water tank. Now here's my other story. Actually, is this connects to inspecting your hose that leads to, that's connected to your dryer. Okay, you know how like there's a lint, like when you do drying, right? There's a lint build up and then you're scraping it off, taking it off. But then there's a hose that can to the outside that vents out the thing. Somebody told me that there's this lady who doesn't really clean that. Like this big hose doesn't clean it, and it has those lint. Can you imagine those lint? Those fuzzy things? Well, it got caught on fire, and guess what? It made a huge damage in the house because of that little thing that, like little maintenance, little thing goes a long way. It was just so bad. That evening, she went to the house, like after work. She put on the dryer on. Everybody's asleep, and she couldn't sleep. And then she didn't realize that there's already a fire going on in her basement. Yeah, luckily she was awake at that time. Right above the room, right above the basement, is a kid's room. So if she wasn't awake, if she went to sleep right away, there could have been her kids gone. Yeah, so that was really a good ending, even though that happened for them. You know, you could replace anything, you can replace stuff, but you can't replace people, even though there's an insurance. So that's I think those are my two big stories of the day about home maintenance. Okay, now we talked about energy efficient and environmentally friendly options. Oh, I can't talk right now. Okay, so this is a big deal right now, right? Environmentally friendly, because we want to make sure that our kids can have a good life, even we're not here, even when we're gone. So here's one of the energy efficiency stuff and environmentally friendly stuff. So LED lights. So LED lights are something like what we have in here, right? So that's a light bulb that doesn't use as much energy efficient. Using the energy friendly or environmentally friendly cleaning products. Anybody taking science right now? No one? Okay. So, phosphorus. Phosphorus is actually one of the chemicals in the detergent, right? Phosphorus is one of the chemicals in the detergent, and usually if there's a phosphorus in the detergent, the water would go out and it goes to the lake where it drains, and that's where you're gonna get algae blooms, which are the green algae floating around on our lakes, polluting our lakes. So that's so we don't want phosphorus. Okay, so if you want to take a look at that, I think nowadays I'm looking at the cleaning stuff, for clothes. Yeah, I think they're starting to phase out the phosphorus out of it. Okay, some detergents. Another one is eco-friendly paints. Okay. Low VOC. So VOC is the one that's like it's released onto the air, right? You could actually could get really sick if you're exposed to that quite a bit. Another thing that's environmentally friendly, okay, so this is environmentally friendly, is using recycled furniture. Recycled furniture, or upcycling your furniture. So this is environmentally friendly. Triple pane, that's energy efficiency and environmentally friendly because you're using a low energy. High efficiency furnace. Solar panels. Oh, okay. Solar panels is collecting energy from the sun. Geothermal heating. Yeah, this one's a little expensive to do. Proper insulation. So proper insulating your house, making sure that the heat stays inside the house if in winter, and then the cold stays inside the house during the summer. Low flow shower heads. Okay. Oh, I did this before. Pop bottle inside toilet tank. Anybody has done that before? No? No? Okay. So what happened is, like, if this is the water tank and I put a bottle inside, what it does is it replaces the water. So when I press the lever to flush a toilet, what happens is all of these water drains, this one stays. Right. So you're using less water every time you flush. So that's something that's really neat. I've done it before. Wood burning stoves. Oh, okay, wood burning stoves. So it'd be nice, but there's a tendency there that you point out earlier that the carbon monoxide poisoning can happen. So some of these stuff are what we do for our house to protect ourselves and to protect our environment and our home. Anything that you want to add to this part? No? Okay. Now, the last bit is owning versus renting. And this, should I rent or should I own? Should I rent? Should I own? We're going to talk about this later on too with our home, with our vehicle finance. Should I rent? Should I lease? Or should I buy? But anyways, our home, we have seen that the cost of buying and maintaining a house is significant, right? So when we own a house, there's so many things that we have to pay for. A financial advisor will always advise us to buy a house but not rent. But there are benefits of buying, to both buying and renting. So what's the benefits of renting? Okay, so here are the benefits. These are the good things. Why, advantage of why we need to rent. No property tax bill. Okay, you don't have to pay property tax. No large down payment. We don't have to do that. Maintenance are not our responsibility. Right? So earlier, somebody had mentioned that her landlord doesn't check the fire alarms, right? Because it's not her responsibility, it's the landlord's responsibility to do that. Here's another thing, it's easier to relocate. Okay, well, if we're renting a house, we can say, I'm moving to another place, another province, another area. Okay, we don't have to sell the house, you don't have to do all that stuff. Utility costs are lower. Insurance costs are lower. Well, we talked about that, right? insurance and homeowner's insurance. Tenancy insurance is lower because you're only insuring your own stuff inside. In some cases, you have access to amenities like pool, weight room, and tennis court. Oh, okay. Sometimes this is true if we are living in an apartment that has that amenities. So these are the benefits of owning. So what's a good thing about owning a house? Ability to personalize your living space. If you want to change a different color of your living room, bedroom, you can. Modify or create your own residence. You can change everything, tear down a wall, change the flooring. The next one would be to provide more permanent place to raise children. That's a thing, right? Opportunity to build equity. Equity is something that you're earning, you're getting every time we pay the house. That's your equity. It becomes part of your investment. So that concludes our lesson 8. For the rest of the class, here's what we could do. Practice assignment 8. This is like probably one of the shortest assignment ever, right? It's 1 page, not a lot of calculations in here, so we can work on that one right now. So that concludes our lessons in home finance, and then that concludes our lesson 8.